Hi there, this is Alasdair Baverstock, CGTN reporter in Mexico City, and you find us here today in the very pretty Condesa area of the country's capital. And we're here because we're covering a story on digital nomadism. And this is a very popular area for digital nomads in Mexico who have come down here specifically because since the start of the pandemic, people no longer need to be physically in the office. They no longer need to be in Paris, London, New York, Madrid, San Francisco, wherever. They can simply work from a laptop from wherever it might be in the world. And Mexico, over recent years, has become a very popular area for these sort of professionals. And we're here this afternoon with Alasdair. He himself is a self-professed digital nomad, and he's from Germany. Alex, guten Abend, wie geht's?
Sehr, sehr gut.
Well, that is as far as my German goes personally, but tell me a bit more about yourself. What is it you do for a living?
So I've been a freelance designer. I do UX and UI design, kind of applications, websites.
And you are a digital nomad. Where have you been traveling over the past, since you've started?
Overall, about 50 countries. I started kind of my nomad journey straight after university. I actually studied in London, and after that started freelancing and was like, okay, I don't want to spend so much rent to live in London. Was like, why don't I just like start traveling and do the work remotely?
So why specifically at the moment do you find yourself in Mexico City? What is it about this place?
So about 2 or 3 years ago, I came here to kind of travel. I was in the US before, and then was like, okay, let's just go to the next country, which is Mexico. I didn't speak any Spanish at that time. Was like, okay, maybe also do it like, okay, like just try and learn a new language. And came to Mexico City, made really good friends, and was like, okay, like why don't I just come back here after I've been traveling to other countries. Just kind of became like my favorite city.
So why specifically do you think it is that Mexico City has become such a hub for digital nomads?
I think it's a combination of things. Weather, for one, is always the beautiful weather. You can just like sit outside and work. Other reasons, of course, like cost of living here is amazing. And for me specifically is the food scene. I love traveling to countries with lots of food. My background is from Thailand, so I like spicy and like very interesting cuisines. And here Mexico City has a little bit of everything to offer.
So obviously you've been a digital nomad for much longer, but since March 2020, since the pandemic struck, that was a real catalyst for, you know, an age of the digital nomad. You know, have you personally seen differences since before and after March 2020?
When the pandemic started, I was very worried that actually I would lose a lot of jobs. But actually, I've been getting way too many jobs because a lot of companies, especially who were not ready yet to do like digital transformation and develop their own websites and applications, they're really reaching out, especially like around May time. So like the first 3 months was kind of like a lull, like people didn't really know what to do. And now we have all of this, or like I get a lot of requests for new jobs. And before, used to be more people who have their own businesses or online businesses, and then for that have the flexibility. But now I see a lot of employees, so people who are actually employed by other companies who can actually like just, okay, I just need to be in a similar time zone to the US and then just do it from here.
That's like one of the things which is most interesting to me about this is that even now it seems like people are beginning to get vaccinated, there seems to be less infection, like lower hospital rates, yet digital nomadism and the idea of people working outside of the office and not necessarily having to be at a desk. In your opinion, do you think that's something that is going to be one of the big legacies of this pandemic, even when it's done?
One thing I always keep telling people is that even because of all these kind of changes that are happening in the world, nomads like us are actually the most prepared because we are always very easy to adapt to changes. We can like go to different places if we want to, and I think that's something that's going to be here to stay.
Alasdair, thank you so much. That was so interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brilliant. So this is the age of the digital nomad. Since March 2020, this mode of working is now becoming more and more accepted, and indeed it does seem like it's now going to be a legacy far beyond the pandemic. The stigma which before was around home office, people working from home and therefore being less productive, has been proved not to be true. And as technology and infrastructure and workplace culture builds up alongside this phenomenon, this does seem like it's now here to stay. I'm Alasdair Baverstock reporting for CGTN from Mexico City, today one of the global hubs for digital nomadism.